It's our pleasure to welcome you once again. We appreciate everyone joining us from the Northeast, Northwest, North Central, South, Southeast, and Southwest of Nigeria, and all our compatriots across Africa, Europe, America, Asia, Middle East, wherever you are joining us from. We appreciate your time with us on this space every week, 3 to 5 and its devastating impact on human lives, public health, and indeed our environment. This platform also serves as a channel for us to provide help to those who may be struggling with substance abuse, especially those in need of treatment. It equally means for us to update you about all the activities, maybe some of the activities, because we may not be able to update you all of the activities within a space of 2 hours. Yeah, that's the fact, especially what we're doing to curb the scourge of substance abuse and appreciate you every week for finding time to join us on this. We not only share knowledge, we not only have a conversation, we not only share experiences, but it's also important that we get your feedback. And we do get this every time, either directly on the space here or right in our DM of some of the impacts of what we're doing, or if there are areas of improvement or some areas that we need to focus. All of those come to us at very keen and important us to improve on our deliverables to serve you, serve our society, and indeed humanity better. We also like to tell you that this conversation is recorded and is streamed live on our other social media handles, especially at NDLE01 on Facebook and at NDLA TV on YouTube. You can always go back, take a listen to the recording, and even share with others. It's very important that we share the recording with others so that, especially those that may not have the opportunity to join us live on this space. It's important that we share the link and also have something to benefit and even share with others. That way, we're spreading the awareness, we're raising sensitization, and more lives are saved. Okay, we already saw our guest right seated on the space, so we will, before we get formally introducing, we know we're discussing something very key, very important. We know the season we are. It's the season of dirty December where people want to let down their guard, want to have all the fun that they can today, especially at a time like this, like just barely 2 weeks to Christmas. It's very, very important.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's X Space. My name is Natawe Dozier, and here are the NDLEA news highlights for the week. First, the headlines: 7.6 million tramadol pills, 76,273 kilograms Colorado, skunk seized in Delta, Imo, Adamawa raids. As NDLEA destroys illicit drug warehouses in Ekiti, Ondo Forest. In series of intelligence-led operations across the country, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Owerri Road, Imo State, intercepted his vehicle conveying the consignment, which was loaded at Aba, Abia State, heading to Onitsha, Anambra State. In Adamawa State, NDLEA officers on Monday, 1st December 2025, intercepted a Toyota Hiace bus marked MGU 554XB along Maraba Mubi, coming from Jos Plateau State, going to Mubi with a total of 1,577,112 capsules of tramadol and XO5 tablets, all concealed inside jumbo bags mixed with new rubber sandals and slippers. Two suspects, Kabiru Buba and Hamza Abubakar, were arrested in connection with the seizure. Similarly, another suspect, Mundasir Rabiu, operations unit of NDFVA, stormed forests in Omo Ekiti, Ekiti State, where they destroyed 14,654 kilograms of skunk and arrested two suspects, Yusuf Ilyasu and Okumu Chinedu. In another operation, the operatives on Tuesday, 2nd December, stormed the forest in Asin Ekiti, Ikole local government area, Ekiti State, where they destroyed 54,300 kilograms of skunk in two large warehouses that were razed, while 28.3 kilograms of the same psychoactive substance was recovered for the purpose of prosecution. Following actionable intelligence, NDLEA operatives on Tuesday, 2nd December, raided Igoba Forest in Akure North local government area, Ondo State, where a total of 2,483 compressed blocks of skunk and 247 bags of same substance, all on Wednesday, 3rd December, intercepted the consignment of Colorado, a synthetic cannabis weighing 22 kilograms at Abaji Expressway. A follow up operation at the Jabi Park in Abuja led to the arrest of a female skunk and 573,500 pills of XO5 along Kwali Gogolada Expressway. In Lagos, NDLVA operatives recovered 217 pouches of Canadian loud weighing 113 kilograms from a suspect updates on arrests and seizures. Next is the update on some of the weather activities across the country for the week, brought to you by my colleague, Peace.
Thank you, Netta. My name is Peace the Pastor, and here are some of the weather activities across the country for the week. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is leading a bold new chapter in Nigeria's fight against substance abuse through its dynamic war against drug abuse WADA. 5, the Anambra State Command of NDLEA paid a wide advocacy visit to the Pro Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, and management team of Legacy University, Okija. The visit focused on strengthening institutional collaboration in the fight against drug abuse. Officers highlighted the importance of higher institutions in shaping responsible behavior among young adults and promoting a drug free academic environment through continuous awareness and behavioral guidance. Similarly, on Tuesday, 2nd December, the Kano State Strategic Command delivered a water enlightenment lecture to students and staff of St. Michael's Academy, Sabongari. The session educated participants on the dangers of substance abuse, stressing its negative impact on health, discipline, and long term aspirations. Students were encouraged to adopt positive values, resist peer pressure, and make choices that promote personal growth and academic excellence. On Wednesday, 3rd December, the Rivers State Command conducted a wider sensitization lecture for students and staff of Community Junior Secondary School, Okuruama, Obiakpo local government area. Officers enlightened learners on the physical, mental, and social consequences of drug misuse, urging them to adopt healthy habits and remain steadfast in their pursuit of a promising future free from substance abuse. Concluding the week's activities on Friday, 5th December 2025, the Benue State Command organized a wider enlightenment lecture for students and staff of Harry Pass Secondary School, Masaje, Boko local government area. The lecture underscored the risk associated with drug abuse and motivated students to uphold discipline, make informed decisions, and contribute positively to national efforts against substance misuse. That's the update for this week. My name is Peace, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafemi.
All right, thank you very much there, Peace and Netta. Welcome back from the news highlight segment. Now let's remind ourselves about some of the rules guiding our process of engagement on this platform today. Please note that when you are approved to be on the speaker's corner, ensure that you remain muted until after the presentation by our guest speaker, and then we'll start inviting individuals to unmute themselves one another. Thank you for your cooperation every week. We appreciate that a lot. Okay, now let's just before I introduce our guest speaker, let's tell you about the NDLA's call center. That's a platform where we have a lot of professionals talking about counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, and psychiatric doctors who work at the NDLA's call center 24/7, meaning that they are there every day of the week, morning, afternoon, evening, and night time. And available there is a toll-free helpline that anybody who needs support, who needs treatment, or who needs guidance can call at any time of the day from any part of the country at no cost to them. All you need to do is to call our toll-free helpline 0800 10203040. The number again is 0800, that is 0800 10203040. That's the number to call. It's a toll-free helpline, and then you have experts at the other end of the call. They are ready to pick your call, assist you, support you, and provide you psychosocial support services, and you'll be glad you did. One important thing is that this service is available in any of the three major Nigerian languages, meaning that if you cannot speak English or Pidgin, they can attend to you in Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo. This is to further deepen the reach of this platform, of this service, so that people in rural communities and the locals can also access this platform, access this service, and benefit from it. That's that about our NDLA's call center. Now let's formally introduce our guest speaker who will be leading on in the conversation, our conversation today on Dirty December and the layer of substance. Since his teenage years, first found expression in the counseling department of his church, igniting a commitment that has shaped his professional path. During his National Youth Service, Francis served as a zonal coordinator for the Nigeria Christian Corpus Fellowship, leading outreaches in marginalized communities where he offered free counseling, prayer support, medical services, and essential items. Francis has volunteered with notable organizations including Youth Rights Nigeria, National Hospital Abuja, Nash Adava Foundation, and Karu General Hospital in Abuja here. As a as a psychosocial counselor with Youth Arise Nigeria, he has facilitated community engagements on gender-based violence, drug addiction, sexually transmitted infections, and harm reduction among key populations such as people living with HIV/AIDS, people who use drugs, injecting drug users, and female sex workers. He has also worked closely with married women, nursing mothers, and married men as allies. His experience includes crisis intervention, the management of patients with mental health conditions, and the facilitation of group therapies. Notably, Francis has supported many individuals to overcome substance addiction and made significant contributions to the child and adolescent department of Karu General Hospital. With over 50 interventions across rural communities in the FCT and Nasarawa State, Francis has proven to be a dedicated mental health advocate. He ensured the sustainability and enhancement of the Teens Out, a monthly program for teenage girls on sexual and reproductive health. He has also created widespread awareness on suicide behaviors and prevention through features on Trust TV and has spoken extensively on subjects including men's mental health, youth in distress, and parenting in the 21st century. Francis is frequently invited as keynote speaker to address staff of organizations on workplace stress management and enhancing productivity through motivation and well-being. In addition, his monthly online webinar series has educated the public on various mental health conditions. Beyond individual therapy and community engagement, Francis is currently collaborating with Solace Wave Therapy, an online platform providing mental health services to Black communities in Africa and the diaspora. His work continues to demonstrate his unwavering commitment to positive impact and to helping individuals achieve their full potential. Please join me in welcoming Francis Ikohisho as I invite him to unmute himself while we listen to him spend the next 20-30 minutes to discuss our topic for today, Dirty December and the layer of substance abuse, risk, and cost of temporary funds. It's our pleasure to have you, Mr. Francis. Please go ahead and let's listen to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And I appreciate this. I hope you can hear me. Just let me just be sure one
You
time.
are very loud and clear.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody, especially from the first edition who came about this initiative. You know, if not I'm here, there are some things I'm getting to know, that SDLA, are really putting in place, especially the emergency helpline. A lot of people are not aware of it. So I appreciate everyone from the main boss at the top, and your consistency over 166 is a whole lot. That tells us a passion for to help those who are into all this, just to ensure that the stop is not just want to arrest them because they are doing, but to help people protect beyond what they are actually going through. So thank you so much, and thank the agency, NTSB. All right, so Dirty December. I really love this particular talk about Dirty December. You know, basically, the Nigeria, especially in our cultural setting, most celebrations cannot go without, substances, especially alcohol. In fact, there are some traditions you cannot say you are partying or celebrating and then there's no alcohol about it. So Dirty December has grown into a kind of cultural phenomenon across even beyond Africa, West Africa, urban centers, and of course I know we do it a lot here in Nigeria. So this marks a period of heightened social activities, especially like parties. When we travel, we go for concerts, or maybe old schoolmates, you have kind of a reunion, and then other nightlife events that, like we say, Lagos, Echo City is always a party city. All right, so this season of this celebration often comes with a lot of things like relaxation, personal restraint, but you see, for the young adults, they decide to do more of experimentation, especially with alcohol and other psychoactive substances. And there's the catch. The pursuit of this temporary fun is something that creates an environment whereby they may now normalize the use of substances, um, probably glamorize it, or maybe even rationalize it. Either way, but unfortunately, the consequences can be far-reaching so much that it goes beyond that particular day or that particular festive period or that particular festive season. I know of someone who started, he went out with a friend, and then, he had fun. He had fun because normally where he works in UK, so he came back, he went out with a friend, and then they have fun. Then he was now like, so if I can have fun like this, instead of doing it once a year, why not I do it once a month? So once a month, he himself call a group of people, they go out, and the fun in that context is that there needs to be something alcohol, at least that's the fun there. From every month, he began to say, oh, why will I make up to a month? Then he take it down to every week, and then he will be like, oh, I can just have, a bottle of this whiskey or whatever at home, and then from there, it's like, it's nothing bad if I just take a sip every day. So it always starts that way. It always starts that way. And not that the celebration itself is bad in any way, but it is that if one is not pre-informed, if one is not cautious, this will lead to another embarrassing or deteriorating consequences for the person after or beyond this December. And just like the case like every other year, it is bound to happen even this very year. It is bound to happen in the next 2 weeks, like our host have mentioned. Probably it's already happening now. Now, let's look at some of the causes of this. I mean, why do people even engage in this? There are several causes, especially if we look at the psychological aspect and the social aspect, those factors. One of these I know, especially from experience, is peer influence. Peer influence, there's a 17-year-old boy just got admission into law school early this year. He was brought to the where I'm volunteering, Carol General Hospital, brought to rehab. This boy hardly go home, rich parents. In fact, one of the changes that the mother noticed in him was he started asking for money frequently. Unlike the elder brothers, he said that they always ask for money and they give them. But they always had this boy. Don't you want money? He said no, he doesn't have need of it. So, but when he entered the university really, he started asking for money frequently, and the mother knew something was wrong. You know, so much that she sent him about more than 400,000 in a month. Someone that can manage 50,000 in the whole month. So when he came back, he was locking himself inside the room. Normally, he will lock himself in the room, but not lock the door. They can easily enter and go out, but now he's locking the door. And then he noticed changes in his behavior. He speak aggressively a little bit. But what happened was that there was a day he pushed his mother, which has never happened. And then the other brother slapped him. So they burst into his room and then saw some substances he was hiding because he was saying nobody should enter his room. So that's when they brought him, to the rehabilitation center. What am I trying to say? In the boy's story, while I was having sessions with him, he said that while he was growing up, he was always indoors, but he was always online, social media. He wanted to have a girlfriend, but he doesn't know how to talk to a girlfriend and all that. But when he was in school, he had these girls were all over, but he can't talk to them. And he had these guys who were happening guys, and they could get any girls they want, but they were also into drugs. So he says, according to him, he's not necessarily, he doesn't want the drugs, but they convinced him that with the drugs he will have, that bonus. So that's how it started, and then before you know, he was already developing tolerance, becoming dependent on it. So much that beyond just getting the girl he wants, he can now speak to his mother anyhow, which was never the case. So you can see what influence of peers can do, especially with those that you look up to, what the influence they can do, and that's if they are also into this line. So part of what we should do is look for those people that more are like role models. It has to be something very good, unique, that is positively impacting to the society. Another cause is that a lot of people want to escape reality or emotional avoidance of some sort. Now, Detty December provides this opportunity to avoid stress, or even heartbreak. Some people, loneliness. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone. You can be staying alone or be alone, but you are not lonely. But you can even be with people, but you are lonely. It's a state. It's an emotional state of mind. So Detty December creates the opportunity to help people in that. And also even financial concerns. A lot of people have been going through so much. Like one of the brothers we were helping through in my organization where I was utilized in Nigeria, it's because he lost his job. He went into binge drinking and he just felt that was it. A job of 5 years, he was to get promotion, they just kicked him out because they were downsizing and he was one of those affected. So a whole lot of that, just trying to avoid whatever is happening within you emotional, to escape that reality. That's one of the causes of this. Another thing which is very, very common, especially to the young adults, is sensation seeking. When you hear somebody say, I just want to get high, or something of impulsivity. So the thrill-seeking mindset, which characterizes holiday celebration, is that it can increase impulsive behavior. One day in our farm, some couple of years ago, there's this guy we always call. This many years ago, I was still much younger. He always called to, help us clear. And just before he cleared, he would just smoke something. So I asked, what exactly is this thing doing for you? You have to take it to sell more than necessity. If not, where is it I get the energy to clear this? and all that. So some of them take it for a whole wide cost reasons and all that. So nonetheless, the experimentation of these substances has its own consequences. Then let me just mention one more. My time is not even that much. There's something called FOMO, FOMO. It's an acronym for fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. This could be independently or still be under influence of people. Let's say some of your, especially for ladies, the girls are going out, or even for guys, they are going to party or something, just want to be there. And then if it's more of influence and you have esteem issue, it should be like, let it not look as if I'm a human or I can't be like them and all this things. Or I know even one time in secondary school, it's because of this. The first day they went out, they didn't influence me. I did not join. I told them no. But when they came back that first day, the way they were gisting, everybody was saying how he drank like this, how this, laughing like I had no story to tell. So the second day when they were going, I joined them and I did the worst. I did the worst. And that was my first time of the drinking. In fact, the dangerous thing was that I mixed Don Simon, mixed Remy Martin, mixed what's this other thing, 3 like I was just drinking recklessly. And that experience after that, it wasn't funny for me, especially for my health. So that fear of missing out, when people have this talking about some things like this, the sensation they feel, what they did after, and many other stuff, especially for the young adults, the youthful exuberance and all that. Yeah, it's part of it. It influences. It influences. Now let's look at more into the danger, especially the health part. Is that it causes intoxication and probably overdose because the high potency synthetic drugs, or the adulterated substances, and if whether independently or you mix it and then you do this drinking or just taking overdose of any substance, it can put you at a very high risk, and especially your health can put you at a high risk. A lady 4 months ago was rushed because she overdosed. She overdosed. She took it first and waited for like some minutes, and she was just expecting results so fast. And then she took like double, 2, 3 more, and then the next thing, she found, according to her, that was the last experience she could remember when they brought her to the hospital. And thank God, she just finished talking to her friend. So the friend was already close by. And then the friend, the friend was close by. And then the friend knew she was inside, broke the door, called for help, and then they rushed her down. So that's one of the dangers. Another is that there is risk of cardiovascular, harm or any neurological harm. We have a whole lot of cases like that because there's something that stimulants do, stimulant like cocaine, amphetamine type substances, any of those. So it can trigger things like strokes, it can trigger seizures, it can trigger cardiac arrest. If you escape it in your youth because of the strength or because of your body formity, you still have that, high strength potency. There's going to be cumulative of it which affects you in the future towards old age or even at old age. And then you start having some of those cognitive disorders, any of them, one of the diseases. It's because of some things you have done in the past, which are all part of it. So, yeah. Then, of course, there's increased risk of HIV. In our center, we have had cases of girls who have come to complain because even this also linked to gender-based violence, especially the sexual gender-based violence. A lot of ladies who have complained that their boyfriend only sleep with them when they are high, that they want to take substance to sleep with them, and they don't care about using any harm reduction, whether condom or just any commodities or whatsoever. So sometimes they are forced, even if they are in a relationship, they are forced. But they don't come as if they are reporting the case as a rape. They just come to explain their own ordeal. And some of these guys too. So there's risk of HIV, especially for those people who are using substances. they can, they are prone to have cognitive impairments, and these cognitive impairments can put them in that point that, let's say they can pick a random girl which they are not aware of, neither are they even uh, aware of their status, HIV status, and depending on whether they are rushing or whatsoever, they can just go without harm reduction. And yeah, the risk of HIV and every other STI, it increases it. Then we have also one of the dangers is that I remember some time ago I went to one of my uncle I spent holiday with. It's anytime I stay with this uncle, he always takes me to drink. I think he was the one I learned drinking then, but my parents drew me from him, and I'm glad I didn't. I never go back like anyone. Then not anytime I go stay with him, I come back. I talk about how he takes me out to drink. Like that's the highlight of whenever I stay with him in holiday. So they stop me from going to stay with him, and I'm glad that happened during my teenage years. There was a time he did that. I was 19 years old. I was driving then. Yeah, I was driving. So we drank. He was even encouraging me. Now the problem is when we finish. That's when he now remember that someone has to drive. He drove the car. He noticed he could not because sometimes he would swing into the bush and come back. We were going slow like snail. Then at a point he told me to come and drive. I was in my mind. I was saying, "Yeah, you what do you think is not drunk?" He said, "Man, that we will never get home if you drive." So I entered the steering too. I drove on after like at least 5 minutes. I was trying to open my eyes clear. We entered the bush. That's how we started looking for help, managed to fix the car and all the. It was a whole wild experience. Since that day, if we are going out together, especially at night, he will tell me not to drink. Only he will drink so that I will drive. Or I will drink, he will drive. And all those things. So that's even also part of influence. And this is also under parenting. Because I will see him with an uncle, I will see him more like parenting. That was a bad example for me. Bad example was setting for me as his nephew. So, yeah, when you engage in any substance use, especially so much in any occasion, this during this Detty December, do not drive because you can have accidents, you can have injuries. That's part of it. You can even fall. As someone fell into the gutter, he had a fracture in his bone. Any of those things can occur. Then let's look at some of the costs and like consequences per se. We have psychosocial, causes, and then we also have economic causes. What is, like I said earlier, temporary fund of substance use during Detty December, it can create a long-lasting economic social burden. One of the social burdens is financial strain. You go to a place, someone is declaring. I see someone that declared, he declared here, it was all he has, so they started taxing every other person to complete the money. And when you now become dependent, it becomes a problem. So the financial social strain is not even that first day. It's not necessarily the second day. It is the fact that, first of all, your body has developed tolerance. It's the fact that you find it difficult to stop. It's the fact that even these substances is illegal. Somehow you become very wise and smart to find a way to get it regardless of the consequences. It's the fact that you don't have money, you sell a lot of your property, your properties, clothes, everything. There was a guy who came to the center himself because he said this boxer he's wearing is last. Like that's how bad it is. He sold his TV, his chairs, even Matt he's sleeping because he also sold the bed. Matt is sleeping so. And not apart from that, he's owing the beer parlor where he goes to drink. He's owing them about 57,000. So what used to happen before is the brother used to come and pay where he owe, and then they hold him and all those things. But the brother is like fed up of him. So part of the help is that they just keep him by himself, and then so that they can now call the brother and tell him that he's ready to change. So that was just the only reason why the brother came and supported him, funding the rehab funds and all that. But you see, another thing that happens when people spend so much in December. In January, there's something called January blue. That's the point that we say your eye go clear. You'll come read and say, I should have avoided this, I should have done this, I should have gone here and the rest. That's one of the things that a lot of people will say that, oh my pocket don't dry for January. So part of this is we have to do all this with caution. Now there are also legal consequences, like I said. What is DSM-5? One of the criteria DSM-5 when they say that, despite the consequences, especially like in cases of legal consequences, you see that you can't help yourself but to find a way to get this illegal drugs. There are a lot of people who have been out of prison over and over and over again, over and over and over again. It is worse, especially for ASPD, that's antisocial personality disorder, because apart from just being substance dependent, they are likely to exhibit some misconduct behavior that impact negatively to the society and even people around them. Destruction of properties, not being emotionally available for a lot of people, not caring about people's feelings or emotion in different circumstances and all that. Then we also have damaged relationships. Some of these people cannot hold relationships properly. They cannot keep, sometimes they are aggressive even to family. They can't even be that romantic long enough. So lastly, let me just talk before I enter the treatment, is that academically or even career, there's setback. Some of these people lost opportunities or even some compromised performance due to some lingering substance effects. This can actually affect their profession, even as a student, can affect their performances. Now, health-wise, there are some underlying psychological um, um, issues that can exacerbate their vulnerability. One of which is anxiety, you have panic. Sometimes it's because of anxiety they're going through substance, and then it makes it worse. Some is depression. There's just a whole lot. I don't know if I still have much time. I'm even trying so much to be. But let me just go quickly.
Yeah, you still have some 11 more minutes.
Oh, 11. Okay, that's right. Okay. I was thinking of like 5 minutes I have. All right, because I've not really been friends with brevity. Brevity has not really, but well, I'm glad I'm doing well. So yeah, underlying second issue, a mental health issue, which is can also in other way because there's something we call comorbid in mental health. Comorbid is where there's more than one. For example, someone because of depression, which is a mental health disorder, depression can lead him into substances so much that he now gain dependence and become he now have substance use disorder. So the comorbid in both ways now is that there's depression, there's substance use disorder. So the same way in anxiety, bipolar, and many others like that. Now it is at when, because when someone takes like cannabis or stimulant, hallucinogens, all this can trigger anxiety disorders or even psychosis, especially those who are predisposed individuals. Predisposed individuals are high risk individuals. For example, your father is into substance, your mother's family, some of the brothers are into substance, very high. Even if you have never taken it, you are high risk. Because the day you take it, you'll be shocked how you have become into it more than Bola, that was your friend, that takes just a bottle once a week for the past 20 years, but you have never. But you just take one bottle one time and you see yourself misbehaving or going back to it. If Bola takes 10 bottles, the moment you take 2 bottles, you start hearing things other people are not saying. You start hearing things that you are the only one hearing, you start seeing things you are the only one seeing. So those are high risk. This is usually different. We don't have two individuals with the same predisposition because of their body composition is different. And this also goes back even into parenting. Still talking about this is that, especially for pregnant women, because I've seen cases of a lot of young ladies who's probably trying to cause harm to the child. They want to, they dream during pregnancy. That's for the word for it, but no. So So the treatment, and basically there are just two treatment approach, just two in the whole world. We can add one more. So the first one is psychotherapy. The second one is pharmacotherapy. That's medication. We can add social for the loved ones, but basically it's just those two. Inside psychotherapy, the whole psychosocial can also be advised and all that. But more importantly, let's look at the prevention and the harm reduction strategies. And I'm actually glad for this because this forum is is actually one of the preventive measures because when we have awareness campaign like this, especially evidence-based education that talks about all these dangers, drug misuse, when we have all these kind of things, so all those stuff, it helps. It helps inform people what is actually happening, what is going on inside of them. The risks of this is not about what they are doing today, but the effect it will have long after that today that they're experiencing it. So another thing is harm reduction, for example. If, for example, let's say this December, a lot of people travel home, spend with family, maybe first day, maybe they're already organizing program in their community or something, or whatever is their plan. If you take any alcohol or substance, please drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself at least to reduce the intensity of it. Also, part of what you should put in place is that if you are going and you are driving, have a designated driver to bring you back. Even if you go like 2, 3, don't go alone. And it should not be everybody that will drive. There should be just one person his mind is clear enough, to drive. Another thing also is to avoid mixing substances. Like I did back then in secondary school. That experience, I'm glad I survived it because no, it wasn't good. It wasn't good because I was throwing up for 4 days constantly. I was wondering, was it not just the small things I took, So avoid that, and also avoid overdosing. All right. Another thing I need to talk about is we all need to find someone. Not every time we run to therapists. I mean, there should be someone in family that can listen to us, especially for those underlying, those underlying mental health conditions like depression, anxiety. There should be someone you should talk to. What's happening to you? Not to go and find solace in substances, which is a maladaptive coping mechanism. There are other coping mechanisms we have that are adaptive, not maladaptive. So having a very good social support is really, really helpful in helping individuals who's undergoing any of these mental health crises that may lead to substance use. Another thing also, we need policy enforcement, especially from government. Policy enforcement need to regulate. I know a friend who just came back from Finland told me how, except you are of age, certain age, you can't go into club. Generally, in the whole country, they regulate the intake of alcohol. If you get a shot, you eat food and drink enough water. In fact, that kind of thing, you wonder, so what's the need of taking it? Then you also need personal accountability. Be accountable to yourself. Set boundaries. You will say that if I go there, I will not take more than this. And keep to it. Even your budget too. Don't go because people are hailing you. You start to declare, and because they are hailing you that you can go more, take 2 more shots, and then you need to set your own boundaries and be assertive about it. So yeah, Detty December offers a lot of opportunity for social bonding, relaxing, which is good, and cultural expression. But however, when we push towards unrestrained enjoyment, this often marks significant risk that is associated with this substance misuse. But the thing is that when we short-live a pleasure that is derived from alcohol or drugs, it cannot compensate for a profound physical, psychological, social, or even economic cost. It can't compensate for it in any way. Especially when you are high-risk individual. So this may cost you a whole lot in the future. But when there's a balanced approach to celebrating in this dirty December, you need to balance everything. When there's a balanced approach, you know that you have prioritized your personal safety. You have also made informed choices. You have made informed choices. It is very, very important. And we know that
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming around. Femi W, thank you. Destiny Nsabasi, thank you. Adigun Abidemi, thank you for coming around. Mohammed Waziri, thank you for being part of today's conversation. Ben Awoks, Wuni Wale, Virginia, thank you for coming around today. Mimi. All right, thank you, Mimi, for being around. Bamidele Miriam, thank you. Oluwasegun Olowo, thank you. Carrie Obi, Victoria Ochechi, Victoria is a regular, thank you. Jubril Yunusa, thank you. Richard Olajide, thank you. Euphemia, Asma, YMD, health situations, that's Asingozi Imbe, thank you very much. Let's take a pause there and then we'll be back with more recognitions, but then first let's dive into some of the questions live in our DM, and then would for those that may want to ask questions, this is the time for you to ask for the mic. We'll approve you to be on the speaker's corner, and then you stay muted until we invite you to um, unmute yourself and then make your contribution or ask your question. We may have to invite our guest speaker. He has to come back to the speaker's corner because I saw that he migrated back to listener's corner. Now we want to be taking the questions from our DM, and so there is need for him to come back. Maybe it's his network, but then let's get to reading some of the questions in our DM, and then okay, Bamidele Miriam, let's get to okay, Bamidele Miriam, is there a contribution or question? Yeah, Bamidele Miriam, if you have a question or contribution, can you do that quickly? Unmute yourself, you are muted. Okay, she's obviously not ready for that. Okay, let's invite our guest speaker to come back to the speaker's corner. He's
I'm ready, sir.
okay, you are ready. All right, go ahead, Miriam.
How does social media glamorize December, 30 December in a way that encourages risky behavior?
Okay, Miriam, you joined last week from Osun State somewhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good to have you again this week. Okay, come up with your question again so that I can note that for our guest speaker while we attend to it. How does what? Can you come again?
Social media glamorize 30 December in a way that encourages risky behavior.
Okay, I got social media. Right.
Okay, after the second speaker, I will ask my remaining questions, sir.
After the what?
Second speaker.
No, we have only one speaker today, so just let's note. Just ask your question at once so that you won't be coming back and forth. This one, I have the
Okay,
first
sir.
one. How does social media glamorize Detty December
30 December,
in a way that
in a way that encourages risky behavior. And what practical steps can young people take to stay safe and still enjoy 30 December? And
okay,
still enjoy December responsibly.
okay, all right.
And then I want to ask is generally,
You said what?
sir, as a teenager who is passionate for about drug-free advocacy,
Okay,
can a
wait.
young
Let's
person
be
invite
Miriam.
and
Okay,
go?
Miriam. Let's be taking it one by one, right?
Okay, sir.
Yes, let's take the first one. How social media glamorize Dirty December in a way that encourage risky behavior. Let me. Okay, I guess guest speaker is back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I read
Okay,
that.
yes, I can get my network has been,
Yeah, I know, I know.
yeah.
I
So,
noticed that it's your network. Okay, did you get
yeah,
Miriam? Did you hear Miriam?
yeah, so she has how social media can influence, people in this dirty December, if I understand,
Yeah,
right?
into taking risky behaviors.
Yes. So social media have influenced a whole lot of people. Uh, you know, let me digress a bit, like the young man I mentioned about, who he never goes out but is always online. There are a lot of more things he has been going through, seeing that he wished to do on social media, but never had the opportunity. So one of it that he wanted to explore was approach to a woman, and then because of that, goes into substance. So it is very easy for somebody who have been seeing how a whole lot of people party and he just love the feeling he gets when he watch it online and all those things, especially in closed doors. And when there's no parental guidance or advice for them. The influence is very easy and very simple because we explore our fantasies are usually at its height, especially when we are alone. There's something called privatization, and that's what the invention of social media or the technology advancement is bringing. So much that we can be alone in our house, in our room, but we are exploring the whole world. Or we can also be alone in our house, in our room, but we can also, reach out to the whole world. There are a lot of people, even like content creators, who don't go out. They are inside their room creating content, and a lot of people are, seeing them, watching them. So privatization has come, is here to stay. The influence is there, not even just in substances, but it's very also easy in substance. And sometimes it doesn't even really come like substance. It's a kind of lifestyle somebody wants to live, and whatever that lifestyle has to get, sometimes substance is part of it. Not like they are substance, like I want to be substance dependent. Is that substance itself has a force on its own. But the type of life is that when they just, hang out or drink, test a drink, if it's frequent, they can continue in it. And then when they continue in it, they become dependent. So being exposed to, a certain lifestyle that is not, it does not align with positive impartation to the society, yes, it can influence you into being substance dependent.
All right, thank you there. Miriam, you have to come back to ask the next question. Miriam, please go ahead with your second question. Miriam, you are muted.
And
Okay,
I
go
already
ahead.
admitted. What
Okay, you
practical
are
steps
okay.
can young people take to stay safe and still enjoy December responsibly, sir?
Uh,
Okay, yes. So, what practical steps they can take? First, they need to have a plan. Always have a plan. Always be assertive in their decision. Just like I said earlier, when you are going for a party or this December, you can say that, okay, in the end of this December, I don't want to take more than so and so. What especially psychiatrists do is that to know the intensity of, because in grading substance use disorder for an individual, we have mild, moderate, and then severe. All right. So during the history taking or assessments and examinations and all that, we grade the amount of alcohol you take, either per day, per week, or how often you take it, the different type, to calculate the percentage of the alcohol. That's what. So we grade them to actually know. So what you need to do is you should know what you are going to take. Put a limit to it. Put a gauge to it. Have a plan that no matter what, whether the cheering or whatsoever, you will not go beyond this. That's one of the steps. Secondly, there are some environments you have to also restrict yourself to say that, okay, I will not go here, I will not go here. Because you know your weakness. You know where your strength is. And where your weakness is, do not say that, no, I will not, I will just go. It's just especially like for those people, you know, part of what we tell them in relapse prevention is to point out their cues, which also involves their triggers. So we always tell them, don't overestimate yourself. If there's a place you know, if you go there or in the past has been a trigger for you, for maybe cravings or whatsoever, just avoid it first. Do not go there. Do not put yourself in that environment and then trust in your strength. You will fail. It will fail you. So the second thing I will advise young people to do is that they avoid places they know that will definitely influence them, especially if they know they have a history of it. Okay. So basically those two for a young person. If I have to talk about parents putting parents against their for their children, then we really need to go into parenting style. But for psychologists like us, part of the weakness we can identify is attachment style for people, because that also shows both the strength and weakness of individuality. But basically, what you just need to know is you know where your strength is, where your weakness is. Avoid some places where you know that you will definitely take it that will influence you, or you just feel like you cannot, and then have a plan. Let's say you go and take. Please ensure, I mentioned dehydration, drink a lot of water. Do not take much. Gauge yourself, drink a lot of water. I know a friend who does not go more than one bottle. He says if he takes more than one bottle, he cannot drive. That is someone who is already uh, self-aware. He's already self-aware. So at the end of this, it's not, yeah, it's about the negative impact to the society, but it's first on you, your health. But the reason why we have agencies like NDLA is not even just because it is because whatever danger you cause to yourself, it's also a danger to the society and community. And these are practical, evidence-based ways you can use. Very simple. So I'm just pointing those two out, practically for young adults, more than your age or what your body can take. All right. And then also avoid your triggers or places or environments where you know that you are susceptible to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you there. Miriam, you have the last question. Go ahead with your last question, Miriam.
Okay, sir. Sir, as a teenager who is passionate about drug-free advocacy, can a young person invite NDLEA to speak on X spaces so that more youths can be enlightened about drug substance and the pressures of Dirty December, uh, about substances abuse? Because some people do misuse substances even when they are not prescribed.
Absolutely, Miriam.
Are
Thank you
you
very
are you
much,
sure
Miriam.
that question is okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
I
good.
will answer that right away. Yeah, Miriam, if you have any
Yeah.
program, just get in touch with us. Definitely, we'll be right there with you to support you to address your gathering, your friends, your church members, your mosque members, your colleagues, your fellow students, whatever category of gathering you may have, definitely NDLA will be ready. That's the whole essence of our war against drug abuse social advocacy initiative. It's all about mobilizing everybody, every citizen to take a role in this whole effort of raising awareness and sensitizing the people about the danger of substance abuse. So, if you, as a student or as a young adult, you have a platform that you think you need NDLA to come and address, definitely get in touch with us. And even if you have to be physically present there, I can assure you that in any part of the country, we will definitely be there because we have commands and formations all over the country. We will definitely designate people that would join you there to address your gathering. And that's exactly what we are also doing on this platform to ensure that we'll have a virtual means of reaching out to the young people, to the young and old and everybody, even right across Nigeria, and even those who are in diaspora. They are always part of this conversation. So that's it, Miriam. Definitely we can, and even what you discussed last week on the platform. And don't also forget that whatever you say here, we just for us at the level of the agency, we don't just end this conversation here. Whatever we discuss here, if there are points for our commands in any location to take action on that, we prepare them. We prepare those points and direct to the appropriate the appropriate commands and formation of the agency to take action. I remember you did mention some areas in Osun State where we directed our command in Osun to take both law enforcement action and also the organized drug demand activities based on what you discussed, you mentioned here on this platform last week. So it goes, whatever we are doing, it goes beyond this X space here. It goes into our operational activities on the field as well. So thank you very much, Miriam. We appreciate your. I'd like to, if you can,
Fine,
if you can DM,
fine, fine.
if you can DM me, would like to take things further with you by seeking means
Oh,
of.
are you Mr. Bambo? Are you Mr. Femi Babafemi, sir?
Yes, ma. So
I'm
send
not
me
Master. I'm a student of Freedom University,
yes, just send me a
Ikobogu
DM.
State.
Send me a DM. Would definitely partner with you, Miriam. Okay, I love your passion.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate,
All
sir.
right, thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Francis, you want to say something to Miriam Melo asked three questions, and she was right on this platform last week, and she's a student. You want to say something before I go to ask questions, go to read questions in our DM? Yeah, Mr.
Oh, okay, what other question did she? What other question did she
No, no,
ask?
no, no. I said you want to say something to her. She asked three questions already. You have answered all the three. Okay, you answered two. I answered one. That is just a word of encouragement for her
Okay,
in case you do have.
yes, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I really have because just like you say, I see the passion in her. You know, just to mention it, I see someone that definitely is looking forward to impacting the society in the next 10 years to come in the future. I see a passion about that. Anywhere she wants to be, she just wants to ensure that there's, there's more than just the day to day going, working, getting salary, but there's more to a lot of people who are struggling to this. So yes, keep it up. Not keep it up at the shelf. I just leave it there. But keep it up in the sense that uphold this fire you have in you. And uh, I don't know the maybe a forum you have or if you are already more inclined into the but I will tell you that you can also more empowerment for yourself is that you can take some online courses, attend some just like a forum like this, attend many other forum like this related to your path in which you are carving. This will strengthen you and empower you for yourself and for the people for place of influence and those in the future which is the path you are on. Yes. I hope you got all that.
Definitely, I do hope she did. Thank you very much, there, Mr. Francis. Let's
Oh,
dive into our DM so that You can have seen a lot of questions dropping in our DM. Let's take the first one from Abu. Abu wants to know first. Abu saying thank you for the presentation, and then he's asking, uh, it's indeed very timely topic, and talking about Detty December. This indeed, like the guest speaker said, is the time that organizers and party people organize a lot of party, a lot of out outdoor events, and what have you. I'd like to ask, how can organizers encourage safe partying without ruining the fun? That is, yes, we want to have fun, but how do we organize parties without that is safe party without ruining the fun? Because indeed, young people this period crave for fun. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Francis, please go ahead.
Okay, yes, and that's even where it's actually better, and it also passes a very strong message to individuals, especially those who cannot even gauge themselves or put a restraint on themselves. It's usually better, just like I mentioned, like in Finland, I think Finland and there are many other countries. My friend, close with there, told me, you can't enter a club without showing your ID card. You can't buy drinks, alcohol, anything alcohol, without showing your ID card to see your age. That's one. Secondly, when you buy, they will also give you with water. And then you have to buy food. you know. So what organizers of events can do is that they can decide to put a limit to, let it depends, let's say each table or to each person, that we cannot sell more than one to each person. You cannot sell more than two to each person, or a table cannot have more than four. It depends on it, but putting a limitation to it in the sense of the percentage of the alcohol or yeah, in that aspect. So it is very good in that aspect if organizers can actually make that happen, so that we will not start having good moments or dopamine rush only from substances, but that we will also have this bonding of humanity within us. Whatever is happening in that dirty December party and all that, let it be that we are more of humans with other, I mean, there are other games to do in parties. Play, different games to play for fun, and it's very good. More like, I know there are some games I've seen a lot of people have even been involved in one from in time past where it has to be with alcohol. Like whoever fails will take like maybe 2 shots of alcohol and all that. No, 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 no. So let it be healthy. Let organizers can actually make this happen. And part of it, just like this being said, I mean, we can still even start reaching out to some of these, especially some of these body were always organized, because uh, not like saying no alcohol excessively, because when you say that you have just lied to yourself. There is that you tell them that you need to be able to control it. So those people can actually even help in passing message to. I know there's a word already, drink responsibly. So I drink responsibly is not like there's a pattern of this you drink, you hold the cup, no, it's that you drink knowing your limits. So yes, it's really helpful when organizers set that standard, and even people who want to do so much, especially let's say someone who wants to take 4 or 5 bottles. If the organizer say no more than one bottle, it's very helpful. It's very, very helpful. It will help contain a lot of these issues we are having in the society. Yes, so that's that.
All right, thank you very much there, our guest speaker. Let's quickly take this one from Antonia. Antonia, okay, thank you for that presentation. I listened attentively, and I'd like to pick on just one key issue in the guest speaker's presentation. We're told alcohol is a drug which is often used at the level of experimentation by a lot of our young people. But our guest speakers seem to encourage moderate use than abstinence. I would like him to uh, be clear on this. I need clarity on this. From what I heard him say, he seems to be advocating for moderate use than abstinence, and that's usually the level of experimentation. All right, thank you. Please, Mr. Francis, go ahead.
I'm so glad you asked this question. This is a very, very powerful question. Yes, so that's it. Just like when we say poverty eradication, coming from, as a psychologist, coming from the psychological standpoint, if you are religious, you might want to say, let us, we can end rape. If you are from a religious point, you can say, let us stop the intake of alcohol. But it is not even a religious issue, it is an individual issue. So have people
Um,
who
I guess your network is bad. I guess your network is freezing, Mr. Francis. We are not hearing you. So, um, if you can hear us, your network is freezing. We are not hearing you.
who are not religious. Well, can you just
Yeah, your network was frozen for over a long time. Yeah, Mr. Francis, if you can hear us, your network was frozen. We were not hearing you. So, please, you may have to come back again so that you can, yes. Okay, now you are back. Now, your response to that question, we didn't hear you at all. Your network was frozen. Please unmute yourself and let's hear you now.
okay? Is it better now? Can
Yes,
you hear
we
me?
can hear you. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Well, all right. So what I was or I've been saying is the end point is we prefer you don't take it, so that everything you are doing, your actions, your decisions are with your right state of mind. But if you feel compelled or even contentious to take it, let the intake be moderate. First, do not take it. But if you feel compelled, it's just like I mean a lot of even there's this choir leader in a very notable church. You know, coming for counseling, he came for HIV testing, and he talked about having multiple partners. So part of his own issue is he must have sex. Now, even as a choir, I'm not even. He already knows that fornication is a sin. So coming to me for counseling is not for me to start preaching again to him, which he already knows. But what I have to do in that situation, since he already has a very high libido or sexual hormone, is that I now have to contain it so that he will not now either contract HIV and then start spreading it, because that is our major concern. That it also become a harm to him, a burden to him, and then harm to the society also. So is now we now bring in harm reduction. So don't take it, but if you must, it has to be moderate. That's the whole point. See, the brain never forgets, especially for substance. What substance can give somebody in 1 hour sometimes can take somebody 5, 10 years in order to get. Why I'm saying that is because the point of substance dependence, it's all about the dopamine. For example, when we talk about having impairment because of substance, you know, when you see somebody fall into the gutter drunk, that's not stable, or you see somebody going to steal in order to get substance, or somebody selling their property, that's a cognitive impairment. What has happened is that the neurotransmitter, sorry, I'm going just a bit technical, I've been avoiding it. The neurotransmitter that fires the dopamine has now been hijacked by the substance. And once that happens, it will affect your prefrontal lobe. Your prefrontal lobe is where your that's what differentiates us from animals. Where your state of reasoning is, your value oriented. For example, if I give you a new phone, I believe you are going to say thank you. You will be happy. If I give you a new car, you will jump up and be so happy. If I get that's your house, you might just lie down for me and all over. You may never stop for a long time. So you see that the increasing rate value of each of these gifts I give you create a different reaction based on those value from you. So what happens is that when your dopamine is being hijacked by the sensation that the substance gives you, everything becomes level. If you need to work 10 years to buy a car and get that feeling, for example, let's say you work 5 years and then they finally promote you, you will feel that, yes, I work for it. That dopamine, let's assume it fires at 5. But when you take substance within 1 hour, it will fire at that 5. So what you should work 5 years to get a level of that dopamine, you are getting it in 1 hour. So somebody who is now substance dependent will find it difficult to stop it if what you can get with hard work and receive accolades or receive rewards after a long period of time, and that person can do it, can get it with a substance within minutes. That's why it's very difficult. So we say that abstain from it. Abstain from it totally, because the brain never forgets. The brain hardly forgets. It picks every little cue. Abstain is the best thing. But if you must, let it be moderate. And that's where harm reduction comes in and best prevention comes in. Hope you understand, Victoria.
All right, thank you very much. No, that's actually from Antonia.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Antonia.
Okay, let's take the next question from Moyo. The next question from Moyo is okay. No, this has been answered. Okay, this one, let's take this one. Well, everybody that are reading their question one way or the other, they extend their appreciation and acknowledgement of your presentation. And then because of our time, so I try to just skip all of those and go straight to the question. Moyo is asking, are there cultural or social pressures that encourage substance use during holiday festivities? Okay, let's.
Yes, they are. There are a lot of cultural, that encourages it. Like I even said earlier, especially West Africa, but especially in Nigeria, there are some cultures that, in fact, just going to greet whether an elder and the rest, you must bring a certain type of, alcohol and all that. There are some celebrations, festive celebrations that it has to be launched. And so let me use that word, launch with alcohol. So our culture encourages it, but the culture does not encourage it with the potential harm it has on individuals. It's more like a ritual that has been from their forefathers. So, but what is happening these days is that there is a shift in dynamics of individual body composition. You will hear an elderly person say that we take hard things more than this one. But look at children of today; their head is not strong. I've heard an elder say that. So that's part of why you need to know, be self-aware. Self-awareness is very important. Know your limits and be assertive to it. So because of this, I'm also going to encourage a lot of even us right here. This 30th December, why we'll be hosting people. This also an avenue. You know, I think this is part of why this forum is here. We should also help to enact, have this personal policy to help regulate, the alcohol we give, we share. Do not give children alcohol. If they come to your house, you are hosting a party, and if a children of 16 was taken before, and then you say, no, I can take that beer. Refuse. Don't make that available for such a child. And also, you can also regulate it even for the adults. Whatsoever sensation seeking they want to, get. This is why we are having this conversation. Let it start with us. You know, let's regulate it also as individuals. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's take the next one from, okay, let's take this one from Victoria. Victoria. Okay, in the face of immense pressures from our children, I'd like to hear from our guest speaker what strategies parents and guardians can use to educate young people before their rush for this dirty December that has become a subculture. Indeed, if we try to lock them down, they might find their way to sneak out. And so, if we have to let them out, what strategies can parents and guidance use to educate them in a way that they won't be in harm's way, whether in terms of alcohol or other illicit substances of abuse. All right, thank you, Victoria. We invite Mr. Francis to respond to speak to that. Thank you.
Okay, that's a very, very good question. There's something in therapy we call C and B analysis. That's cost and benefits. So part of what you should do is to let your children know the danger involved. Like, let it sink into them very well. As a parent to your children, there are tactics that you can use to incorporate this knowledge to them that will really resonate with them. There are times where mommy and daddy will speak. You know that they are just talking, but there are times mommy and daddy will speak. The children will know that, no, this one is very serious. So let them know the cost of taking substances and the effect it will have in them. Let them know the benefits. Don't just bring out the cost. The benefit, of course, they'll feel good or whatever benefit that they want to go and take. But let them know that all those benefits is temporarily. And you see, especially for underlying mental health conditions that exacerbate vulnerabilities. That's why parenting plays a very big role in being free with their children. Like, their children should be able to talk to parents about a whole lot of things. Everything is possible. So parenting style is also very important that can make this. If your parenting style have been not really good up to optimum, even if your child is taking this thing, they may never tell you and you may never know. So with the assumption that such a parent is a good parent and have good relationship with the child, telling the child the danger of it, the child will keep away from it. And if the child takes it, such a child will come freely to tell the parent that I took it, I'm sorry. Because that enabling environment has been there that your child can even share, even if the child do wrong with you. So that's it then. But go a bit backward into it. Is that even you yourself you are living it? I know a neighbor before he drinks, but he always tell his child, "Don't be like me." Like how does that really work? How does that really work? So you have to be the example you want your child to take. You don't do it, you don't drink, you don't, anything you want to train your child. Best is that children learn from what they see, not what necessarily what they hear, what you tell them. They hear from what they see. So yes, those 2 points, you do it, and then you create the enabling environment. You educate them about the danger about it, the cost of it, the benefit of it. They can enjoy, they get every whatever they want to get, right? But it's only short lived, and then there's a lasting harm for them that will last longer than that period of the pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Then, Mr. Francis, we have a whole lot of about 5 questions for one single individual here, but I'll we will be
No
taking
problem.
it one by one. The first
Or that's fine.
the first question is this Oliver is asked the first question is sending in is in the face of this whole substance abuse issue, yet there is still an ongoing clamor for decriminalization of substance use, especially cannabis in Nigeria. Can you please ask our guest speaker what is his take on this based on his experience in all the places he has said he has volunteered or work? What would be his take on this? All right, thank you there, Oliver. Let's take the first question, then we'll go to the next question. Please go ahead.
I didn't get that decriminalization. I didn't get that part.
Decriminalization. He is asking
Okay,
in
okay,
the
okay,
face of
okay.
all of this, with the benefit of the impact of illicit substances in all the places you have worked, would you support the clamor by some people for the decriminalization of drug use in Nigeria, especially cannabis? Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. This is also a very nice. Uh,
Okay, we obviously lost you there. We can't hear you if you can hear us. Can you hear us?
well, yes, I can hear you now. Since you mentioned places I've worked, right? About
Yes, please go ahead.
90 of it. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello? Okay, all right. Okay. So about more than 85% to 90% of those who are substance users or dependents, not the dealers. When the dealers, the substance use the are a victim of their own. They are a victim also. And part of the victim is that they were actually trying to solve a problem. They were actually trying to solve a problem that they thought the substance would really help to. There's a whole wide range of it, especially from traumatic experiences or childhood adverse effects, rape, emotional negligence, even bad parenting or one or two incidents that are of stuff, or even to adulthood, whatsoever might be the case. Or like I mentioned, some underlying mental health conditions that will also lead them you know. So them trying to solve a problem is that they think that this problem it fades off whenever it, so the circle keep repeating until they became dependent. Now, what do we do in this instance? Because being dependent can lead to a whole lot, especially when your finances is exhausted. It can lead to criminalization. You start going to steal or even going for robbery to get money. To do it means there's a whole wide range of it, the effects that it can go further and beyond. So what we do in my own field, especially as psychologists, is that we understand the person's personality. There's something called history taking. We want to know why. It's not just you are taking it, you are taking it, be arrested, go. Because we want to help everybody. That's what this is about. We want to actually help everybody to get out of it and everybody to be responsible in the society. So we want to go down to the roots of the whole causes. Want to know how did you get here. So, and most of it is well explained. Most of it, you see that they are victim of it. Most of it, they were lost in parents, just as we have mentioned. So part of it is we are not advocating for the criminalization of those who use substance. Instead, we are saying, let us help them. Let us help them. Let us help them. That's for those who really want the help. But then there's another thing for those who don't want the help. Remember that substance can influence you and also influence your cognitive. It can create a lot of cognitive distortion. So there are some people who does not need help. They are not in their right state of mind in that decision they are making. There's something called psychosis. I think I just touched a little bit of it. It's when you lose touch of reality in anything you are doing. So yeah, when we go down to the bottom line to see why this happened from the onset, what influences this, and many more, you know this person really needs help. This is a victim of circumstances or victim of probably their own wrongdoing. Either way, they got there. So we are actually pushing for the decriminalization, not that they should continue and cause nuisance and harm to the society. We want them to be contained based on whatever they have done, and also, if possible, be persecuted. But so much more while facing the consequences is that we want them to be better. There's a young man in U.S. prison who he was jailed for life. So whenever there's this organization that used to go, talk to them and all, so the man just felt like there's no need, his life is already finished. But at the end of the day, after several encounters, we found out that this man still have a whole lot to do for the world. But in this context, his world now has been restricted to the prison. So what did they find out? He's even an author, and he's so very intelligent. So they find out he can help people, those who are in prison and have fewer sentences like 10 years, 20 years, and the rest. He can help them develop themselves till when they come out and become better human beings. And that psychiatrist who was always going there season after season, day after day, time after time, was able to discover that in him and really encouraged him. And he has been doing, everybody who come out of the prison, keep mentioning that guy inside the prison. So part of it is first we want you to be better and then for the world to be better. We will not say because of substance you go and blow up a particular building and say it's under influence. The law will take its course.
Director of Media and Advocacy, for guiding us throughout today's program. For more information about the agency, our listeners can visit our website www.ndlea.gov.ng. Our social media platforms remain at ndla_Nigeria on X, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. On Facebook, it is at NDLA. Do join us same time next week for another edition of this wonderful program.